Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Welcome to our Virgo Elixir Rite for 2021. I'm Scott Stenwick, your host for these Elixir Rite events and for the ritual night talks that take place on Tuesday evenings. So, before I really get started and talking about Virgo, which is the subject of our ritual tonight, I want to point out that if you want to participate in the ritual and follow along, you should get a cup of wine or juice or water or some liquid to serve as the elixir. So what you're going to do is you're going to be concentrating on the cup as we go through the ritual. And you can do this whether you're watching the ritual live or watching it later on. And just focus on the cup, holding it in both hands. That's helpful. You get this kind of chi thing going between your palms. And just hold that during the ritual and pay attention to what's going on. So you'll want to get that ready if you don't have that ready right now. And in the meantime, while you're doing that, I'm going to talk a little bit about Virgo and the powers of Virgo. So Virgo is attributed to the power of invisibility, parthenogenesis, and initiation. So I'm going to get to what those are in a minute. I just also want to point out that I have the ritual attached in the description. That's the script on my blog, Algoides. We also have the donation link, which you know what to do with the donation link. All donations are appreciated. And as a good YouTuber, I got to go through my like, subscribe, request notifications, so you'll know when we go online. Almost forgot that. Now, back to Virgo. So, invisibility, parthenogenesis, and initiation. Those are the powers of Virgo, according to Liber 777. Now, magical invisibility has kind of a funny history in that, there's stories about like Aleister Crowley, who was experimenting with his magical invisibility, and he would dress up in some apparently dress up in a ridiculous getup, and he would just go out to some public place and no one is noticing me, no one is noticing me, no one is interacting with me, my invisibility is working. Well, maybe it was working a little bit. But the reality is most likely people were like, oh, here comes that nut again. Let's all ignore him. It's like, oh, the invisibility works. There's also a story in Donald Michael Craig's Modern Magic about using the Rose Cross ritual, which is a Golden Dawn ritual, to create magical invisibility, and how he had apparently cast it, over his car, and a cop didn't pull him over when he was speeding or something like that. He attributed that to the ritual. Now, again, I don't have any idea if, that was coincidental or whatever. But, some of these ideas, though, about invisibility are, don't necessarily line up with how it actually works. So magical invisibility is actually essentially a mind-to-mind type effect that gets people to ignore you. Okay, so you can go to some public place and you can cast this on you and you can walk around and people probably won't interact with you, or at least they're less likely to interact with you or notice you, or if they do see you, remember you, than they otherwise would. Now, we don't have magical invisibility that can fool a security camera. So, you cast this on yourself and then, do something illegal, on camera, you're going to get caught because you don't actually turn invisible. It's an effect on people you're interacting with and moving around with. And so the general power of invisibility is just generally to direct attention away from you in whatever way. Okay. And so, what that means is that, if there's something going on in your life that people are paying attention to that you don't want them to pay attention to, this kind of magical invisibility is something that you could use. Also, remember that the powers, they also have a flip side. So Virgo rules magical invisibility, and that also means that you could use it for the complete opposite purpose. You could use it to make something less invisible, that is more noticeable. So in the sense of directing attention to people you interact with, that can be a good application of the powers of Virgo. So parthenogenesis is, in the dictionary, it's defined as asexual reproduction. And basically in magic, what Parthenogenesis usually refers to is the creating of entities like servitors. Talismans can also fall under this. If you're building a talisman that you want to exist as its own kind of self-sufficient thing, use the power of Parthenogenesis to, give birth to it without the process of sexual reproduction. So Parthenogenesis, so that can be very useful. Essentially, if you look through the text of chaos magic, pretty much everything in chaos magic that you do with servitors can fall under this Parthenogenesis power of Virgo. And Virgo can help out with that. Virgo can, the angels of Virgo can, create those kinds of things in a general sense. And this is kind of like the idea of consecration in Aries being a general power. So you can consecrate anything by calling on the angel of Aries. It doesn't really matter what it is. So if you've got a wand and you want to consecrate it, to fire, you can just put the wand there, call up the angel of Aries, I want to consecrate this wand to fire, and they can do that. So it cuts through a little bit of the other way of doing it, which is calling up the angels of fire and asking them to consecrate it. So the zodiac kind of comes from the other direction. Parthenogenesis is a power with talismans and servitors is like that too. You can call on the angels of Virgo to create a servitor or a talisman as some kind of an independent entity to basically do whatever. You probably would want to have, some kind of an affinity with the power you were working with for a talisman. Like, say I were going to call up something for Jupiter, maybe I would use an amethyst as my talisman, but I would actually go ahead and call on the angels of Virgo. That would be a way to employ the Parthenogenesis power. And then finally, initiation. And initiation is, again, very general. It's one of these things where, you can initiate all kinds of things in your life. You could do, I want to be initiated into the Sephira of Tifereth. Okay, that's an initiation power. Or I want to initiate a new phase of something in my life. That's initiation too. Initiation is based on the idea of imprinting certain ideas. So imprinting ideas in an initiatory fashion also employs the powers of initiation. So this has a lot of effectiveness. I mean, ceremonial magic is kind of Virgo to begin with, with forms and structures and that kind of thing. And of course, the idea of, it coming out of Hermeticism, Hermes is Mercury. Mercury both rules and is exalted in Virgo. Now, the other thing to keep in mind, though, is that the powers are descriptive, not proscriptive, like I keep mentioning in these videos. So if you get an astrology book and, Virgo is attributed to this, probably you can go ahead and use this ritual, and the intent you can have can be pretty much anything related to the sign Virgo or a quality that's related to Virgo, just according to, any book on astrology that you might want to find. So, things like some mercurial things under Virgo, like analysis is under Virgo, for example. You want to deeply analyze some kind of a problem. Virgo might be a good sign for that. And so there's a lot you can do with this. And it is, it's a pretty effective power. Now, how you're going to do this in this ritual is you take your cup, right? And we're going to get to a point, and I will indicate to you where this point is. I will give you the instruction that you're going to formulate your intent. This is toward the end of the ritual, and then you're going to drink some of the elixir. Okay, and that's pretty much what it is. Intent can be, anything you want as long as it kind of falls under that general Virgo idea. Okay. And you're going to take a drink, but you're not going to empty the cup because we need to have some left over at the end, which is going to be left as an offering for the angel. And then after the ritual, I'll go over a little bit about what you can do with that. There's a number of ways to deal with offerings. The big thing is once you offer something to spirit, you don't drink it. You want to let it naturally evaporate or dispose of it outdoors or something like that. So with that, I think I'm going to get going here with the ritual. And thank you very much for joining me. Welcome. And I hope that you find this Virgo Elixir Rite both, useful and informative. Atamakut Vegamra Vegana Leolamamen Yami Raphael. Behind me, Gabriel. On my right hand, Michael. On my left hand, Oriel. For about me flames the pentagram, and in the column stands the six-rayed star. Atam Alkut. Vegemra Vegenula. Leilam Amen. We take refuge in Nuit, the blue-lidded daughter of sunset, the naked brilliance of the voluptuous night sky, as we issue the call to the awakened nature of all beings, for every man and every woman is a star. Makashana. We take refuge in Hadit, the secret flame that burns in every heart of man and in the core of every star, as we issue the call to our own awakened natures, arousing the coiled serpent about to spring. Amra. We take refuge in Heru Raha, who wields the wand of double power, the wand of the force of Kofnia, and whose left hand is empty, for he is crushed in the universe and naught remains. So we unite our awakened natures with those of all beings everywhere and everywhen, dissolving all obstacles and healing all suffering. For pure will, unassuaged of purpose, delivered from the lust of result, is every way perfect. All is pure and present and has always been so. For existence is pure joy. All the sorrows are but as shadows. They pass and are done. But there is that which remains. To this realization we commit ourselves, pure and total presence. So mote it be. Ironai Adreshnunyan. Isis, nature, the fullness of earth. Horus, volition, the triumph of Sol. Set, guardian, lord of the threshold. Tahuti, perfection, uniting them all. Isis, Horus, Set, Tahuti, Abraham, Isis in fullness. Horus, triumphant. Set, the liminal. Tahuti, Nater, Neteru. Isis, Horus, Set, Tahuti, Makashana. The linking of earth with the stars. Ararita. 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 Ironai Adreshnunyan. Isis, nature, the fullness of earth. Horus, volition, the triumph of Sol. Set, guardian, lord of the threshold. Tahuti, perfection, uniting them all. Isis, Horus, Set, Tahuti, Amra. Isis in fullness. Horus, triumphant. Set, the liminal. Tahuti, Nater, Neteru. Isis, Horus, Set, Tahuti, Makashana. The linking of earth with the stars. Now I begin to pray, thou child, holy thy name and undefiled. Thy reign is come, thy will is done. Here is the bread, here is the blood. Bring me through midnight to the sun. Save me from evil and from good, that thy one crown of all the 10, even now and here be mine. Amen. In my breast I carry the mark of the living God. I adore thee, thou light of the world. I adore thee, thou light of the Grail. I ask nothing from thee, for I am become thee. I and thee are one in the perfection of the mystery of life. And before the throne there was a sea of glass like crystal, and in the center and around the throne, 4 living creatures full of eyes in front and behind. Without stopping day or night, they were saying, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty, who was, who is, and who is coming. Holy art thou who art universe. Holy art thou who art in nature formed. Holy art thou, the vast and the mighty, source of darkness, source of light. Lord Almighty and all-powerful, hear our prayers. Command thy holy angels above the fixed stars to be assisting and aiding of thy people, that we may command all spirits of the air, fire, water, earth, heaven, and hell, so that they may tend to the glory of God and man. Aritam have they Arita have they Arita have they Arita have they O thou shadowy vista of darkness, thou cryptic book of the fir-clad hills, yea, as I search the key of thy house, I find my hope but as a rushlight sheltered in the hands of a little child. O my God, thou mighty one, thou creator of all things, I renounce unto thee the green fields of the valleys, and the cedar roses of the hills, and the nymph lilies of the mere, so that I may wander through the gardens of thy splendor, and be consumed in the unutterable joy of thine everlasting rapture. O thou intoxicating vision of beauty, fair as 10 jeweled virgins dancing about the hermit moon, I swear to thee by the peridot flagons of spring to quaff to the dregs thy chalice of glory, and beget a royal race before the dawn flees from awakening day. O thou sovereign singer of the reveling winds, whose voice is as a vestal troop of bacchanals awakened by the piping of a panpipe, I know thee. O thou dancing flame of frenzied song, whose shoots like unto golden swords of leaping fire urge us onward to the wild slaughter of the worlds. Oh, glory be to thee, O God, my God, for I behold thee in the lap of the fertile valleys. Thou hast adorned their strong limbs with a robe of poppied corn, so that they may laugh forth the glory of thy name. O thou mighty God, make me as a fair virgin that is clad in the bluebells of the fragrant hillside. I beseech thee, O thou great God, that I may ring out the melody of thy voice and be clothed in the pure light of thy loveliness. O thou God, my God. O thou odorless diverse palace, whose garments are scented and passionate as spring flowers in sunlit glades, roll me in the sweet perfume of thy hair, so that thy tresses of gold may anoint me with the honey of a million roses. O thou God of the nothingness of all things, thou who art neither the moaning of a maiden, nor the electric touch of fire-thrilled youth, O thou who art not found in the hardy kisses of love, nor in the tortured spasms of madness and of hate, I deny thee by the powers of mine understanding. Wait me in the unity of thy might, and roll me in the poised rapture of thine all-pervading nothingness, for thou art all, and none of these in the fullness of thy not being. But I rejoice in thee, O thou, my God, thou ambrosia-yielding rose of the world, thou vaulted dome of effulgent light, thou valley of venomous vipers. Yea, I rejoice in thee, thou dazzling robe of the soft rain clouds. O thou, a lion-voiced uprearing of the goaded storm, I rejoice, yea, I shout with gladness, till my rapture, like unto a two-edged sword, traceth the sigil of fire, and blasteth the handed sorcerers in the glory and splendor of thy name. O my God, teach me with patience and be merciful unto me, as I humble myself before thee. For all my knowledge is but as the refuge of the chaff that is flung to the darkness of the void. Oh, woe unto me, my God, woe unto me! For all the aspirations of my heart reign as in time of earthquake the bare hut of a hermit that he hath built for prayer. Yet from the lightning-struck tower of my reason do I enter thy house that thou didst build for me. Oh, what art thou, O God, my God, thou almighty worker, ungirded of slumber? O thou unicorn of the stars, thou tongue of flame burning above the firmament, as a lily that blossometh in the drear desert. Oh, how can I pluck thee from the dark bed of thy birth, and revel like a wine-drenched fawn in the banqueting house of thy seigniory? O thou unity of all things, as the sun that rolleth through the 12 mansions of the skies, so art thou, O God, my God. I cannot slay thee, for thou art everywhere. Lo, though I lick up the boundless light, the boundless and the not, there still do I find thee, thou unity of unities, thou oneness, O thou perfect nothingness of bliss. O glorious and mighty Hamaliel, you who command and rule over the spirits of Betula, behold me, and in the name of the same your God, the transformative and earthly, have attend and appear before us in this circle of art. Full powers and wonders of the sign of Virgo do we rightly desire. Enlighten our understanding, encourage our hearts, and manifest unto us now as we partake of your spiritual realm. So mote it be. Hamaliel, 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 Hamaliel. You are holy, and your name is holy. You are exalted, and your name is exalted. You are mighty, and your name is mighty. You are strong, and your name is strong. You are honored, and your name is honored. You are true, and your name is true. You are ancient, and your name is ancient. You are blessed, and your name is blessed. You are chosen, and your name is chosen. You are great, and your name is great. You are praised, and your name is praised. You are power, and your name is power. Gloria Patri et Matri et Filius et Filio et Spiritus Sancto externo et Spiritus Sancto interno, uderat esterit in seculo seculorum, sex in uno per nomen septem in uno. Ararita. O O transformative and earthly, have to thee we present this talisman of our magical will. We ask thee, O exalted one, to receive this body of our rite into the light of thy presence. As we proceed in making this elixir of Virgo, charging it with the creative energies of Betula, we shall achieve a true alchemical ferment, mighty in Yetzeran, vitalized by thy blessing. In partaking of this mystery, let there be unto us vitality of soul, increase of sight, true gnosis, and complete manifestation of the wonders of thy sphere. Creature of wine, who art established in the sphere of Virgo, by the vital force of my breath, I enliven thee to perfect this work of holy magic in the realm of Betula. Have Behold the elixir of Virgo. For each and for all that is prepared, let each and all receive its magic virtue. And at this point, what you're going to want to do is formulate your intent. When you got it formulated, go ahead and drink from the cup, and be sure not to finish the cup completely because we need a little bit at the end for the offering. glorious and mighty Hamaliel, we make this offering unto you that it may nourish and fortify you as you attend to your appointed tasks. Be the ferment of our spiritual alchemy mighty in the crucibles of our soul. So mote it be. O thou, Hamaliel, praise and honor be unto thee for the splendor of thine office and the majesty of thy being, and the blessing of thy God and mine, the transformative and earthly, have a... Because thou hast diligently answered unto our demands, just very ready and willing to come at our call, we do here license thee to depart unto thy proper place by the name Have, without causing harm or danger unto man or beast. Depart, then I say, and be thou very ready to come at our call, being duly exercised and conjured by these sacred rites of magic. We charge thee to withdraw peaceably and quietly, and that the peace of the Almighty, eternal, true, and living God be ever continued between us. Amen. So mote it be. May life, light, love, and liberty be extended universally to all under the regency of the one law of Thelema. May all attain the stone of the wise, the summum bonum, true wisdom, and perfect happiness. May the benefit of this act and all acts be dedicated unto the complete liberation and supreme enlightenment of all beings everywhere, pervading space and time, so mote it be. May the benefits of practice, ours and others, come to fruition ultimately and immediately, and we remain in a state of presence. Atamalkut, Vegebra, Vegedula, Leolam, Amen. I now declare this temple duly closed. All right. So that is our Virgo Elixir. I will let you know about as far as the offering goes. There's a couple things you can do with it. So what I generally do with it, take the cup, it still has some of the elixir in it. I take my Virgo tablet. It's in the thumbnail that we've been using it for this whole ritual. And I'm going to set the Virgo tablet over on the altar here. And I'm going to go ahead and set the cup there. And then that just sits there and naturally evaporates while the angel partakes of the offering. If you want to dispose of it in some way, you can also go outdoors, just like pour it out anywhere outside, keeping in mind the intention that this is offered to the angel Hamaliel, who is the angel of Virgo, to help fortify and nourish the angel as it goes about accomplishing the appointed tasks that you gave it in your intent. So with that, I think I'm going to be signing off for the night here. Thank you all for joining our Virgo Elixir Rite, and I hope that it proves fruitful to all of you. Again, like, subscribe, request notifications, so you'll always know when we're going live with these Tuesday evening events, and have a great rest of the evening. Love is the law, love under will.